I was sort of a pretty weird process, I suppose. I just had a connection through Rodney Eade, and I'd been thinking about making the change for about a year, I suppose, and I was moving down to Melbourne. I thought I might as well give it a go, so I just sent my details to him, and he passed them on to Derek Hine. I'd been thinking about it for a while. Like, I played both sports when I was coming through high school, and then the basketball just sort of took off. But I come from like a footy family. Like, my dad especially is really keen on the footy, and I'd always followed the footy. I never really followed basketball, and I'd seen a lot of players that made the change, and thought I could potentially do this. So I'm moving down to Melbourne. I might as well give it a go, and it's something that I really want to pursue. So it was a tough decision, but I'm really happy with how it's gone. With the Melbourne Tigers, I was potentially going to go and possibly be a development player. I was at the AIS for like the last 2 years, so it's a pretty elite level. There was, I think, 10 guys on scholarship throughout Australia, so I suppose it's pretty sort of high level once you get to there. I played a shooting guard, so I was a shooter. Like, I suppose coming to footy, I'm relatively tall, but up with basketball I was just average height, so I think that sort of helps a bit coming to footy. But yeah, I suppose I was up there in terms of basketball in Australia. As I said, like, coming to footy and being sort of relatively tall, I suppose, but with basketball just being average height, so I suppose, yeah, that comes with agility and speed, and being able to move well for my size will definitely help, I reckon, coming to the footy. I've got a pretty decent leap, I suppose, and yeah, as I said, pretty agile and move pretty well for someone my size. While I was back then, it was sort of, you know, grade 8, 9 and 10, I was always taller than everyone, so I played in the ruck and up forward. Over the years, I think the body's changed quite a bit, so it's hard to sort of compare. But yeah, a similar sort of role, I suppose, is what the coaches are trying to get me to play here, but a lot different sort of level. Well, I've always had pretty good hands, pretty good marking ability, I suppose, and come from the basketball. Having good hands, I suppose comes with that, and having a decent leap. So that's probably some of my strengths. But then I have to work on all aspects of the game, like kicking and handball and just the fundamentals of the game, really, before I sort of start to progress to anything too extreme. But that's what I'm working on at the moment. So yeah, it's a big sort of family thing, the Carlton supporter. But yeah, those days are over. I think, as I said, my little nephew's Carlton mad, and my dad, when they first found out, they both told me that they're not going to change teams, but I'm sure I'll get them to come around eventually. Yeah, he played back in the 60s in the VFL for Richmond. He's had quite an influence, I suppose, with the basketball. He sort of didn't really get too much into that, but you know, supported me. Both my parents have supported me with whatever decision I've wanted to make, and now coming back to the footy, which I suppose he sort of understands a bit more. He's sort of right into it, and, you know, he talks to me sort of every second day, and gives me a few tips here and there, and he's a really good person to talk to, because he's sort of had a bit of experience and a bit of knowledge about the footy. So in terms of 2013, I'm not really sure what expectations there are. I'm just sort of going in with an open mind and just going to try and do my best and see where that takes me. As far as position goes, I think the coaches have sort of said as a forward, but I'm sure as the season progresses, that might change depending on how I fit in and whatnot. But yeah, just going to give it my best and see where it takes me.